Let's start here with the topic of discussion for this webinar. Again, I'm really happy to be here this evening today. I know it's really late over there in South Korea. It's very early here in San Luis where I'm located. So first of all, the topic for this discussion, navigating scholarships for a graduate business program in the US. This is the agenda for today's meeting. This is what we're going to follow throughout this session. And of course, at the end, we will have some time for questions and answers. By all means, if you have questions during my session, please feel free to put these questions in the chat and we will address them at the end. Before I continue with this, this session has been designed to help you understand what U.S. Admissions Committee truly look for, when people are trying to share their goals, their career, their strengths in order to receive a scholarship in the U.S. Going back to my introduction, I am originally from Colombia, so in South America. I've been working with All in Business for almost 4 years now. I am a true believer of education, especially overseas. So I have been in your own shoes at some point in my life. My mom, my parents always told me that education can really open a lot of doors for your future, for your career. So I'm a true believer in these ideas. First, let's start with the map of the United States. This map, as you can see, it highlights the major business hubs across the United States and shows the geographic diversity of graduate business education. Each region offers different access, strengths, employers, and networking ecosystems. For example, cities like New York and Boston are known for finance and consulting, California for technology and innovation, and Chicago for corporate headquarters. San Luis, which is where I am located, as you can see in the map over there, is located in the center of the country and offers unique advantages as well. It provides access to major employees such as MasterCard, Boeing, and so on. But this map is only to show you the different hubs and different regions in the US when considering a school to continue your education. Now, let's talk about what schools look in terms of scholarships. Now, decisions are typically made based on these type of things that I'm showing here. Most of the scholarships are merit-based and these are awarded on a holistic review of your application. Schools are generally looking for 4 main areas, and you can see them over there. The first one is academic excellence, which is everything related to your GPA. The second one is leadership potential, not just your title, but more likely like the evidence that you have the initiative to influence in a positive way others as well. The third one is your work impact. What measurable results you've created in internships or even full-time roles if you had the opportunity to be in the workforce at some point. And finally, the diversity of perspective. This is a unique background, and a lot of international students like you that are trying to pursue a degree in the US will really have this as an advantage because you come with a different cultural, academic, and also working experience. So to summarize this, scholarships are competitive, so schools are always asking who will elevate the classroom and represent the program strongly after graduation. Now, I'm going to talk closely about each of those four considerations that I just mentioned before. The first one is the academic excellence. So, when schools evaluate leadership for scholarship purposes, they go beyond like student clubs. They could look at projects you've led or promotions or increased responsibility at work. For the academic part, they look into your GPA, so that's very important. Then they look into your test scores as well. What are these test scores? It could be the IELTS or TOEFL, which is for English purposes only. And then a lot of business schools in the US typically they suggest you or require to take the GMAT or the GMAT test. You should be aware of these requirements when you go and apply for any of these programs. And the last one is your quantitative background, what you have done in areas that are related to math or business. This is something that will always be appealing for any business school in the US. Next one are the leadership initiatives. So this is one of the most underestimated areas in my opinion. When schools assess scholarship candidates, they ask, what results has this person created? So what are they looking for on this? They're looking for measurable outcomes, clear contributions, responsibility growth, and promotions or increased trust from supervisors. Now, a lot of students that are looking for a business degree, they might not have working experience. They might only have like internship experience. That's totally fine. My best advice for this, especially because you are trying to get as much scholarship as possible, is to make sure that your resume is up to date. Your resume must tell your story in a very brief way where not only the admissions team can see your experience, your academic background, but any type of leadership position or any club or anything that you have been able to participate in the past. This could be even something like being part of a student club or even a team at your university, being part of a sport, because that means that you're used to working with other people as a team in different types of environments. Um, Even early career applicants can demonstrate impact by showing different or mentioning examples of things that they have done in the past. But this is something that, again, people tend to forget when they apply, but it's very important that you summarize this in the most positive and condensed way when you upload your resume. The next one is the work impact. Business schools in the US highly value classroom diversity. So that's why I mentioned at the beginning that international backgrounds are very important. And again, use this as an advantage when you are applying for a business school. Different industries have unique career paths, and they like to have like cross-cultural experience. For students coming from South Korea, this is very important because honestly, your background in the academic system in South Korea or even in companies back home will allow you to have a different global perspective when coming to the US. Not only if you have like maybe also the opportunity to work with technology firms or even startups, but that will be a huge advantage when applying for a US school and when you are trying to be considered for a scholarship. Again, you are a unique prospective student and you want to make sure that when you apply, you're telling your story because that's going to matter when they not only admit you to the school, but also review any type of scholarship that you might be able to receive. And again, scholarships are often used strategically to build a balanced and globally diverse class, which again, coming with your cultural background, you probably will be a big asset for all these universities. Next one is the diversity of perspective. You know, you guys coming from South Korea, like I mentioned before, you have different international backgrounds. You're looking for a unique career path. Even if you want to stay and work for a little bit in the US, that uniqueness is very appealing for all the different business universities in the US. Also, the industry presentation that I wanted to mention in this part is how you connect with the admissions team about your career goals and what are you trying to do in the future in certain type of industry. So it is very important that even though you're very interested in the scholarships, that you are able to tell your story when you are applying for a business school. In the next slide, what I'm going to do now is to tell you about the different types of scholarships that you might be able to see when you are applying for a business school in the US. So when we talk about scholarships in the US, usually graduate business programs, they want to offer you different options and types of funding. Many, if not most of the awards are merit-based and they are tied directly to your academic profile and professional achievements. This is why I made a big emphasis on your GPA and also your working experience. On top of that, make sure that if you take test scores, that also could lead to have a better position at the time of receiving a scholarship. There are also external scholarships from governments or foundations, as well as corporate sponsorships, and in some cases, assistantships. From the school's perspective, scholarship decisions are typically based on academic excellence, leadership, the potential that you might have in the classroom, the measurable work impact from before starting the program and also after completing the program, and then how the university can maximize your chances to represent the university once you complete the degree. So to maximize your chances, you should present clear and realistic career goals in a very secure and strong and detailed way when you are applying for a business degree. Again, this is why it's so important that when you apply for a business degree, your resume is up to date. Your essay, which is also a very good way to tell your story to the admissions team, it's true, and also demonstrate your willingness to start a program, but also what brought you here, like what was your path, what is your story. On top of that, you can also secure strong and detailed recommendations that demonstrate quantitative readiness through test scores when applicable. And again, always try to communicate in the most professional way through your email or even phone calls, and also in case that there could be an interview to be accepted into the program. So these are some of the things that are very, very important at the time of trying to apply for a program, but also trying to maximize your chances to receive a scholarship. And again, just as a summarize, remember the types of scholarships that you will see when applying to a business program in the US are the merit-based that are connected to your academic performance, working experience, and also any type of test scores like your IELTS, TOEFL, GMAT, or GMAC. Then you have the external scholarships, which are linked to the government sponsorships, foundations, or companies that are looking to sponsor you as well, which lead us to the corporate sponsorship. And lastly, and this is something that is not as common, but most of the universities will offer, which is the assistantships or graduate assistant positions. This area, I want to make sure that you understand that they are not open for everyone. And if you are trying to receive an assistantship, you need to make sure that you connect with the correct people or staff at the university to understand and also ask if they offer these type of positions at that university. What I've seen in the past is people that receive these assistantships at the master's level, they usually have a very good working experience that they could then translate that into a classroom environment to lead others and also help professors while teaching the classes. Now, very important, and I divided this in 3 different areas. What schools look for in the scholarship decisions, again, very similar to what I just mentioned before. Academic excellence should always be the main key part. Then your leadership experience, which again, even if you haven't had a full-time job, that's totally fine. You can always use areas from being part of a club or even part of a team within your school, or being someone that has been actively helping in your community. And that could be tied to the work impact as well. And then the diversity of perspective, you come with a different academic background, different cultural background, and how can you use what you have learned in the past and put it together to be or help other students that are pursuing the same program here in the US. Lastly, the last part, the strategies to maximize your scholarship chances. Very important before applying for a business degree. Make sure that you have clear career goals. Once you know what are your clear career goals, you will know how to apply and what to mention, especially during your essay, because most of the universities, if not all, require a career essay. So make sure that you understand what are these goals, and then you tell your story using the essay so the admissions team can understand not only where you are coming from, but also what are you trying to pursue and achieve after you graduate. Then the test scores. I'm almost positive that coming from South Korea, every single university in the US will require you to complete the IELTS or the TOEFL score. Make sure that you prepare for these tests. And the reason is because universities are also looking for that you have the ability to communicate in a very professional way. And one of the ways to actually realize if you will be able to do that is by having good scores on either the IELTS or TOEFL. Also, there are other English test scores that you could take, but my suggestion will be to contact the admissions team or office from that university to see what other options will be available. And lastly, as I mentioned before, communicate professionally Make sure that you are always trying to communicate in the most fluent way to make sure that they know and understand what you're trying to do. So these are the best advice I can give you, not only to apply and have a more successful application when you're trying to receive a scholarship when applying to a business degree in the US, but also on the second part, you could now, or maybe you now have a better understanding of the type of scholarships that you could expect to receive or at least be reviewed when you are applying and accepted into a business university here in the US. Lastly, as one example of a US business school here at Washington University in St. Louis, I would like to mention and give you the opportunity to see the programs that All in Business School also offers. So I'm not going to mention each of them here. You can see them in the slide. But again, to link this up to our previous conversation about how to get more scholarships and understanding what type of scholarships you could receive, I always advise any prospective student to make sure that you tie or link your application depending on the program that you're trying to pursue. For example, if you are applying to a business analytics program, make sure that everything that you are talking about or mentioning during your application is related to data and it's data driven, because that's something that is a key component of a business degree in that area. Again, this last slide gives you an idea of the programs that we offer, if they are 2 semesters or 3 semesters, and also if they are STEM designated or not. So here you have all my information. If you have like more questions in the future, I will be happy to help. Whatever university that you are trying to pursue, I really hope that after having the opportunity to listen to me about this topic in this webinar, at least you have a better understanding of how would you navigate the whole process to be considered for scholarships, but also the type of scholarships that you might be able to receive. If you have any questions in the future, there's an email over there for our office. You can connect with us at any time. Or if you want to check the programs that we offer, there's a QR code over there as well.